It gives me great pleasure to introduce episode 110 of the Sussex by the Sea podcast. An absolute pleasure to have a plethora of fans here from all over the leagues. Soon to be arriving Rob Thompson of Folkestone. We've got Stan LAHOOD of Lewes and Lewes Clamour podcast fame, which we will go to. Terry Scott here from Margate. The other Hastings fans that we got here at the moment is Flat White Andy, Simon Stoddard, the gut feeling, the legendary. It's an institution in our program. I don't know if Simon needs to be in an institution sometimes, but maybe we won't go there.
There's an old joke in there somewhere.
Yeah. Kev Towner, talking to Kev Towner, you see him wheeling in every game. Thanks for coming back on. Obviously, Ian Grant, the reader in the room. I think he's read more books than anyone here. Are we willing to argue that one, Ian?
I don't know. Somebody can challenge me on it if you want.
Yeah. And Leon Pettit, a massive Hastings fan, also his own. You've got your website, Hastings Football History as well. .co.uk, haven't you, Leon?
That's the one. Yeah. Thank you for remembering.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you and good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good morning from the Philippines.
Who could forget that it's 3 a.m. in the morning for Simon?
4 a.m. Your bloody clocks went back.
Jesus Christ, really? Right in. So
8-hour difference now.
Right. It's been a great week for everyone. There's been a lot going on. I'm wondering where we should start. I think we'll start with our special guests. So let's start with Terry, because Terry, I nearly said always comes first. That would be a little bit inappropriate. But Terry, I thought that the Margate were doing well, but just before we started, you were sort of.
It was disappointing to concede. I mean, the referee, when we spoke to him after the game, didn't tell him within earshot I was going to slash his tyres, but
fair enough.
he said, well, there was 12 minutes to play, so he put 5 up and then played 12, and they scored like literally last kick of the game. It was like play till they score.
And this was Haringey, just for anyone that doesn't know.
We shouldn't have relaxed, but it's just so frustrating to concede in the last minute of the game when we should have put it to bed.
Yeah.
But, we will take it on.
It's what is known as Fergie time.
Oh, God, yeah, literally play till they score.
We've all been there. We've all been there.
Yeah.
And a week before you beat Lewes, you've got a Lewes fan on now. Go on, give him a little bit of a nipple tweak.
No, they gave us a good game, but it was just, it's a long time since we've actually got any result from Lewes. So
yeah, I didn't go, unfortunately.
That's why
we had.
I did like the match report that came up that wasn't a match report. I did enjoy that.
Yes, we'll get onto that. There's a lot of Lewes news. Just never.
That was amusing. I did enjoy that. It was very well written. I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
And the fact you got minibus envy as well.
For the people listening, please explain the minibus envy.
One of your guys, one of the Lewes guys, took a picture of our minibus and said, "Oh, they've got their minibus because we've got ours is all liveried up. It's got all the advertising on the side of it, so wherever we go, people can see it's us."
Yeah.
And somebody took a photograph of it from down the coffin end and said, "Oh, I think they said, do Tesla do minibuses or something?" And it's like, bit of minibus envy going on. It was quite amusing.
I was going to do that with my car, but Motability wouldn't let me.
Fascists. Why? What's wrong with some Hastings United memorabilia all over that?
It's against the lease agreement, Chris.
Oh, that's a bummer.
That red tape, the bureaucracy gone mad. It is.
So I've always got my wheels, Chris? Always got me.
And you've got them beautifully decorated.
Can you not get ones that like the magnetic ones that we used to have on when we used to hire a minibus?
I have no idea. You need to talk to me about that. That sounds like a cracking idea.
Right.
Yeah. You can get them. There's ways around it.
He loves slipping in women's DMs, mate. I'll be careful, Terry.
Slide on in there later, mate. Yeah.
Oh dear, we're turning into Tinder now. I've just noticed that a certain Rob Thompson's just sneaked on. Robbie, how are we, sir?
I'm right, Chris. How are you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. We haven't said anything about Folkestone yet. Let's talk to the man who knows everything
No.
there is to know about Folkestone. and how well they're doing,
Yeah,
or not
yeah.
well they're doing. Please
Yeah.
tell us about your season.
It's been fair. I'd say all round's been fairly disappointing, really. I don't know whether at the beginning of the season you have high hopes that may be unrealistic. Maybe every football sport has. You know, they will say you start with like a clean slate and think this is going to be not our season, but you know we're going to have a good season, positivity and stuff. We had a bit of a we had players leaving the summer, and then it was sort of like lastminute.com to recruit. So when we got round to getting some players in, we did get some good players in. When we seemed to be quite heavy in the attack, you know, like forward line was with, you know, we've got Dave Smith back, and we've got some wingers and attacking players, and all of a sudden we seem to have like an embarrassment of riches up front a bit.
Have you still got Kane Penn, Rob? You still got attacking left back?
Yeah. He plays, mate. Yeah, he's been. I believe he's been playing centre mid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't think he's been playing. I don't think he's played fullback for us yet. I don't think so. Anyway. Yeah. But yeah, we just haven't really got going. We've had a lot of disappointing performances and results. Really, it's weird because some of our games you think, oh, we've got no chance of getting anything out of that, and we'll sort of turn the performance on and we'll play well. We might not win, but like at Hornchurch and the last few years we've been there, you think, oh, we've not much chance of going there and getting anything. But we turn up and we play really well. We played teams like Bishop Stortford last, beat them.
Yeah.
And, you know, we seem to, and we went to Lewes and won. So we seem to get sort of results out of nowhere sometimes, or performances. But like the bread and butter stuff for the league, it just hasn't really clicked. It's not really, I think everyone who watches Folkestone would say that, you know, it's been fairly disappointing, really.
Is yours a consistency thing, same as us?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is consistency, but we haven't, you know, like that thing where you sort of start to get on a roll and then you think, well, momentum will sort of take us. Well, we haven't even started. I don't even feel like we've even started to get on a roll to build any consistency. It has been really frustrating. Although you look at the league and you sort of say to yourself, well, if we threw some results together, we'd be up towards playoffs. So it's like football's weird because it can just change. You know, you can say something, make yourself look stupid because 1 minute you're saying, oh, we're rubbish, and the next minute it changes and the whole thing swings in your favour or not. You know, so if we can get some results put them together, we would go up the league. Just a couple of wins, really. But yeah, consistency. It has been frustrating.
I'm sure you got Billericay, in, yeah, on Saturday.
Yeah, we've got Billericay in the league.
One.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that is tough. And then we've got and then we got Harrogate Borough on Tuesday night. So we've got a couple of home games. So even though the Billericay game's tough, you know,
draw and a win. That's what you want.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that would be nice. That would be nice.
Well, always nice to hear from you again, Rob. Thanks for coming back on.
Cheers, man.
That's all right. Don't go yet, though. Yeah, don't.
No.
That's not cue for you to go.
No.
We got the Lewes Clamor here, who runs their Twitter. Got Lewes podcast. It's just so for any. I'm sure there's no Lewes fans listening to this, but there may be 2 or 3. He's just started his own podcast now, Stan. It sounds like it's in a half decent pub somewhere in the Lewes region. First of all, Stan, have a quick talk about that, build that up, but then we'll start going into the Quinoa Wars. What was the one that you coined, Leon? It was the Waitrose
Battle of the Waitrose or something like that.
Battle of Waitrose.
Yeah, I'm just jealous we don't have one in Hastings. That's all. So
we got Aldi's though.
Yeah, we got Aldi. Yeah, we've got to big up the Aldi. Yeah.
We'll probably be underwater by now anyway, so you know.
That's true. But yeah, Stan, please talk about your podcast, why you started it up, but then we'll go into Lewis's season. Obviously, you've had quite interesting. You've got the Phoenix Trophy that I really would love to talk about. That prestigious European trophy that you're in. Let's go there. Let's start off with your podcast, though, please.
Yeah. So I started the podcast as of a couple hours ago. I'm doing it with my 2 friends from uni, Fergus and Joe. I'm not at uni anymore, but I've met them from uni.
Yeah.
We've been going to Lewes for a few years now, and I don't know. I kind of wanted to come up with some new content that would kind of give me a bit more energy, and I kind of just suggested it to them in our group chat, kind of thinking they're just going to laugh at me and be like, "Shut up." what are you on about? You dick. And then they're both up for it. I was like, oh my God, wow. So we've got like quite a quite good chemistry between us. Because we've been going to games with each other for so long. So there's a lot of context for us. But so we went to the Elephant and Castle last night in Lewes. I knew it was going to be quiet. That's why I chose it. And then you could have a bit of background noise because we kind of wanted that pub sort of atmosphere, but not where it's going to be too overwhelming for the listener. So yeah, as soon as I put it on, as soon as Fergus started talking, I realised I thought, yeah, this is going to work. It's not going to be awkward, and we're not all just going to like stutter and be like, It was good, and it was really enjoyable as well. It was actually probably my favourite bit of the night. So yeah,
had you already partaked in a few pints beforehand?
Of course.
Yeah, there you go. It always makes it easier.
Yeah, we had about 2 each, so that great level because it's jokey, but it is serious. Like we make good points, and we talk about our feelings. We talk about
that's 2 pints. You're talking about your feelings.
How modern.
No, we just talk. We're not taking the piss.
Why don't we ever talk about our feelings, Chris?
Yeah,
I know.
Shut up.
So that's some kind of millennial immersion therapy. I might have a go.
No, it's got a lot of structure to it. I didn't just it's not just a chat. We deliberately talk about Lewes, about how recent games have gone, how players have been playing, but also a lot of the news on social media. Just because it's can get a bit relentless at times. So yeah, we spoke about our recent FA Cup away day to Aldershot, and I think last time I was on this was just before that game. Yeah. So and we spoke about that. Spoke about Dulwich Hamlet as well.
Really, you talked about Dulwich Hamlet?
Yeah,
really. But yeah, go on.
And just other things, but it's really authentic because we get like I ordered a plate of chips and that arrived like midway through the podcast, so it really made it feel like you're kind of there sitting with us and like we're talking about our drinks. It's probably not actually that interesting, but if anybody wants to give it a go, it's there, it exists. So if you've got a spare 27 minutes,
I go for the extended. I go for the extended ones, mate. 27 minutes. Yeah. You need to get longer. You need to get longer, mate.
Yeah. Chris is a proper triple album sort of.
Yeah, we're talking Yes album. We're talking
B-sides and everything.
All that.
Yeah,
I'm the
concept album.
Pet Shop Boys 12-inch.
It's been a good reaction so far.
Yeah,
and I'm excited for the future of it. Certainly.
If anyone's listening that's interested, it's on Spotify. All the usual. Podbean, yes.
Podbean, yeah. That's it so far. I think I'll probably be looking at
YouTube. Get it on the YouTube. Get your channel going.
Yeah, got some exciting stuff planned for the podcast. So yeah, looking forward to it.
How is Jake Elliott? Is he still performing? Former Hastings boy.
Yeah, still definitely one of the key players in the team. Now he's moved to centre back. I mean, even when he was at right back, he was doing well. He's him and Ronnie Vint are our main centre backs, I'd say. And yeah, even when we've been losing, we've still got this momentum. It feels like that we're not it doesn't feel like the wheels have fallen off yet, but famous last words. But
well, quite a lot of the teams are inconsistent this season. You just expect people to go. Other than Hornchurch, who were particularly up front, very, very strong team, and ridiculously up front. And after they signed Femi as a super sub, but we're not talking about Hornchurch. We're going to stay on Lewes because I'm not going to forget this. There's 2 things I want to talk about.
Yeah.
There's obviously the Dulwich Hamlet feud, which I must say, I'm sorry, and I may have squeezed some lighter fluid on it occasionally. I wouldn't do that, would I? But like a little, of what I thought was ridiculous overreaction from a little bit from both sides. I saw your manager get involved, going on about how much he loves Dulwich Hamlet, not seeing that actually lots of this is just a bit of nipple tweaking, a bit of banter, a bit of taking the mickey out of each other. For anyone that's listening, it's a thread where they were saying that the Dulwich fans aren't the most noisy fans, nothing malicious really. And there was some sort of middle class sort of clashing of ideologies there, but and a little bit back and forth. That's kind of still going on, isn't it? It's even, I think today there was a guy from Dulwich who went to a Lewes game instead of going to a Dulwich game just to critique the Lewes fans, which
Really?
Just, if you, as I said to you, Stan, if you're not living in their heads, what else is that? I mean,
they are a funny bunch, aren't they?
What's first of all your thoughts on it, Stan, and then if anyone else wants to chip in, i.e., Leon.
I also, so it was a match report from the supporters club, so it was written by Barry Collins. Barry writes match reports after every game, and they're always good and consistent. You know, they're humorous. I write them most of the time, so I wrote pretty much more or less the same things that Barry wrote about, and it was just the no noise wasn't really the factor, because a lot of home grounds that you'll go to, there won't be much noise, and that's fine. It's not really a big deal. You know, you can critique everyone, the away fans, and they go to home ground, they say, oh, the atmosphere is shit. That happens so often. The issue was that they were watching the game, and it was really noticeable. And all that was said was, Barry just said in a humorous light about just that point, and also used a bunch of AI photos, which I thought was
really.
I thought that was funny myself. Loads of them were like, "Oh, this is so
sorry,
weird."
the whippet just creased me.
Yeah, the whippet.
No, because
the
the
Dulwich
whippet in a hoodie.
There were whippets there. It was it's obviously a great day out for loads of Dulwich fans, and loads of people that just want to have a day out. Good for them, great stuff, and they can make a shitload of money from it. Brilliant. But it was just a joke at the fact that it was just, you had a whole load of them round the side, and a huge queues right in front of where we were all standing and chanting, just not watching. And anyone that goes, right, I'm sure they can see what I'm saying. And
well, we've got them on Saturday, so yeah.
Yeah, you will, and that's just how it is. But we made a dig, and blimey, it got I could be wrong here, but I think it got about 300k impressions on Twitter. I haven't seen something like that, like a match report just go viral. But it caused a lot of controversy. My personal opinion of it is that I think it was absolutely fine, and good on Barry. I thought it was I didn't really see much of the issue, but with our manager getting involved and things like that, look, Tony can put obviously whatever he wants out on social media, but it's just, it doesn't help really. I think it's just Lewes fans have got to kind of not, I don't know, rise to it. I always end up rising to it, because after I've had a couple pints, I'm just like, I bite the bait. Especially with that Dulwich fan last night, I really couldn't believe that they, instead of watching their own team lose to Kingstonian, they went to watch us, to actually just kind of just make fun of it. Which
15 tweet critique. It wasn't just one tweet. It was multiple. It was this person has done hours.
I mean, to
be
fair, I think it would be even weirder if you went to watch somebody else's game and then only wrote one tweet about it. That was like your sole.
Fair enough.
All you got to offer. You got to get 15 tweets out of it if you're going to make that effort, surely.
Yeah.
At least.
It's just not normal behaviour, is it?
Not normal
really?
behaviour, is it?
It's not normal, no. So,
and
I just didn't think it was that funny. I mean, there's probably going to be loads of Dulwich fans that found it hilarious, and that's fair enough. But I just think all this has done has made a lot of Lewes fans kind of back Barry, because he's got a lot of stick for it. And
really?
I think it was quite unfair. There's just something like a little joke. And, it spread to Facebook as well. The community on there has been, arguing ever since the Mercury 13 stuff kicked off. So, it's just a laugh at the end of the day. But it's going to be very interesting to see what that game will be like in a few weeks' time in the league.
That's going to be awesome. I did like Barry's little thing when he said about this is not a match report. Yeah, no, you know, he is actually always quite humorous. I think people should have the freedom to say what they like, and people hearing different opinions. You know, I bang on about this myself, but you know, let's keep that out of this. But like, you know, if you can't cope with someone having a differing opinion from you, then I just think you need to get off. Put your phone down.
Get off Twitter, firstly, and secondly, you know, it's going to be tricky.
So I love the one he did, the Pathé News thing that he did with us. It's brilliant. Loved it. Absolutely superb.
Yeah, he's point with Dulwich though. Like, could you imagine like spending 10, 12 quid to go to the pilot field, to go you're there to watch the football. You have a few drinks, you spend most of your time plane spotting or chatting to your mate rather than actually watching the game. It's like if you're out for a day out, then go to the pub. Or I mean, fair enough if you go to Dulwich for the atmosphere, fair play. But it's just beyond me to pay your money to. Well, yeah, I say atmosphere. You know, for a nice day out, I don't know, but you know, I enjoy football because I like football. And I like the mates I've made at Hastings, but it's mostly about the football. It just seems weird that you would spend that money to talk about smashed avocado on toast and craft beer.
I've heard you talk about craft beer, Leon, mate.
I love it.
When you got like when you're trying to watch the game, and you got like, especially with the kids, and they're updating you on the results from other games in the Premier League because they've got their phone things going, and that irritates the hell out of me. But that's just what they do, isn't it? You know, at least that's into football. But yeah, as you say, talking about craft beers and smashed avocados, like, really, come on, watch the game. That's what you're there for.
Just an assumption, before I get angry Dulwich fans who've one angry fan that might have listened to this or watched this on YouTube, and I'll get.
We'll see what happens.
I got your face now, Leon.
I know
it's coming.
Yeah, smashed avocado through the post or something like that.
But I mean, as I say, I went to the Dulwich game when we played them, and we stole 3 points from them. We didn't steal 3 points, so we took them quite happily. And it is an odd atmosphere. There is tons of people that go, and good luck to them. But they've got so many people go into their games. I think their team isn't very good. Have they still got the same manager? Because
he's quite a good manager. And also, talking about with their players and the form there, I actually think that the reason why they're struggling is, one of the reasons is because of the lack of intimidation there. I spoke to a few of the Lewes players just after half time, and we were watching the game. And I said to them what they made of the whole situation about, the aura of the fact that there was a load of fans that are not really paying attention. And they said, it makes a massive difference. And I was like, really? And they were like, yeah. They said, if they've got 10 people yelling at them, they can feel it. And I was, wow, 10 people, Yeah. And if you've got a load of people that aren't, making it that intimidating, just yelling at the keeper, then you're kind of just allowing away teams to just kind of do what they want. QPR have had one home win in over a year because
you're depressing me now, Stan, please.
I need to say it because I think it connects quite well, because the amount of home games that I've seen us lose there as well. We've got like the family stand right behind the goal, and I think that's new, and that's meant that kind of away teams can kind of do what they want in a way. I think
I like winding up the away keeper.
Yeah,
it's a sport in and of itself, really.
Exactly.
Yeah, there is some people that purvey that art better than others.
Oh yes.
Honourable mention for Joe Suggett he's very good at doing that.
Yes.
He's got a whole rating system which we won't go into, but on here. But
need to give an honourable shout out to Andy Boswell as well. For years he's had that to a T. But the year we won, when we won the league a couple of years ago, who did we play? I think it was at VCD at home, and the keeper was offering for a fight after the game. He actually waited for him as well, and the keeper saw him and was like, "Oh, you actually?" But no, I think they shook hands in the end. But yeah, and I started Simon obviously will know.
Well, Haringey Borough's keeper is David James from Wish.
Is it?
That's what he looked like. That's what we told him last night, anyway.
So
people do get some stick at Hastings, though, don't they?
Don't
they, Leon?
Yeah, don't they? Just And I was first one up there was
how they react is what it's all about.
Yeah.
Some of them can deal with it, and they're very good at it. There's others who clearly can't. And there's been some real characters down the years. And, well, Folkestone, Mo Munden, that's a few years ago now, but he was a good lad. He wound us up something rotten when he was at Dover. And then we came across him again at Fisher. I'm talking about 20 years ago now. You went to those games, Leon. You were a toddler then, weren't you, mate?
Yeah, no, you taught me all sorts of words. Ah, thank you. I took to the school playground. It's Simon, the Westbrooks, the Boswells.
That's it. The Boswell
added to my vocabulary.
That's it. Well, I remember my lad saying great new words today, Dad. Yeah.
One of the best was the ex-South Park goalkeeper. I've forgotten his name now.
Who's that?
The ex-South Park goalkeeper. He was a great one for BANTZ. I've forgotten his name now. Anybody remember?
Yeah, I can't remember his name. I remember him. He looked like, I don't know, he looked like he just rolled straight out the pub, didn't he? Like, I'd sunk about five stellars, played football, but he was a good, he was still quite a keeper.
Which team are we talking about?
Holding a fag.
Which team was that?
South Park.
South Park. Oh, yeah. Wayne someone.
That's the one.
I know what you mean. Big tubby guy. Good keeper.
Excellent, yeah.
Yeah, I remember it. South Park. Yeah, I go back a few years.
Who was the one that had a tag on? Come on, that was only about 3-4 years ago.
East Grinstead. He played for Craig, didn't he, in the cup game?
Yeah. Had a tag on.
Asked him if he could play evening games.
He was good banter, wasn't he?
Yeah. I think someone brought him a drink, didn't they, in the clubhouse afterwards.
Yeah. You were messing with him. Do you know what I mean?
No.
There was no.
I know, my bumhole was going a bit when I asked him that. I was like, oh.
Just remember, James Wastel.
James, that's it. Wastel. That's the one. That's the one. Yeah.
So anyway,
Rob told me, when you get keepers that actually know you by name and then buy you a drink in a bar afterwards.
Yeah.
Well, I remember Margate had a good keeper, Lee Turner. Again, I'm going back a few years.
Oh yeah.
Lee Turner, he was a great lad. I remember he was playing for Gravesend one evening. He was playing for Gravesend one evening. We went up there to play Gravesend. This is when they were still called Gravesend and Northfleet, so that's a few years ago. And one of our lads had a pot from outside the area, and it pinged off the crossbar. And we took we had to go at Turner about that. And he said, "Oh, let the bar do the work, lads. Let the bar do the work, lads." He knew he'd been beating all ends up, but he was a real character. He was. Lee Turner was all right. Saw him all playing for various clubs, but I do remember him down at Margate. He was all right. Yeah. One of the good ones.
Yeah, it does help when you got them that they can get the banter going with you. It just makes the game go, doesn't it? You know, you get the ones that are just like completely focused, and it's like, oh, come on, you know.
Yeah. There's some good that they do get some stick. I
always
wondered how much stick how much Louis Rogers used to get, and Charlie Granger does now. I mean, they all get it. They all get it everywhere they go, don't they?
I do offer earplugs to when we go away. I do offer earplugs to them, like, you know.
I want to talk about your fans. Your fans are too, Bob. You were excellent when we went to your place, and I'm sorry we did steal those 3 points from you as well, but I didn't want to mention that.
Yeah, well, you know.
And they were rubbish. Yeah, you were good because we were Stan. We were singing to Terry. We weren't singing to the Margate. We started about Terry. Terry gave us a song because their fans are
Yeah.
What are we going to do about your fans?
Not a lot I can do about them, really. I just carry on and do what I do, and hopefully they join in with me occasionally, you know.
Stan, will there be some abuse for the prestigious Phoenix Cup that you're in? I think it's the third year of this European competition, is it not?
Oh, I'm not actually sure. I think it is relatively new, though.
You pulled out of the Sussex Cup to come into this, so you're almost like Manchester United pulling out the FA Cup. Are you willing to? What's your thoughts on pulling out of the prestigious Sussex Cup? And
I like the Sussex Cup. I mean, in 2014, we got to the final and we got split. We got smashed by Whitehawk, 5-0.
Oh, Jesus, really?
Yeah, it was dreadful. I was 16. I tried to go in with a drum and they didn't let me. So that was pretty annoying. But yeah, I mean, it's a bit shit, but we're in Europe, so I don't really care. You know, so like, well, probably.
Is there prize money?
I don't know. Stuart Fuller would be the man to ask about that. Only one Stuart Fuller. He's the one that organised it all.
It was organised by one of the European teams, yeah? that are not in it
Yes.
anymore. They kind of just
Yeah.
administer it.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so I think we're doing that instead of the Sussex Senior and the Velocity as well. So we're not in that
Oh,
either.
that's 2 cups.
Yeah.
Selecting, As your supporters club said, the Brexit Cup, which I'm amazed that I could say it. I could say middle class liberals would say such a thing as that, but
it's Barry trying to be provocative.
It is, isn't it?
That's what he does. That's what he does, and he does it very well. Does it very well.
He does.
Yeah, you know.
And you won. You beat. Who did you beat? Oslo or something, wasn't it?
FC Oslo.
Yeah.
Unbelievable night. We had 1.1 fans, 1.1 thousand fans.
I was going to say 1.1.
Yeah, 1.1 of a person.
That's someone after they've eaten a pie.
Yeah. I got something quite interesting about that game. Quite a few Worthing fans showed up. We found out, and were apparently asking Oslo fans for scarves and shirts to wear at the game. And I think Worthing were actually playing that night as well. So I don't know what that says, but maybe it says that we're the biggest club in Sussex. I don't know, but no. It was a unforgettable night. Like the atmosphere.
They can't help it, can they, Andy? They can't help it. These Lewes.
Nah,
it's just it strikes me as a modern day resurrection of those sort of twinning events that councillors used to create, just so they could travel to each other's town and have a nice glass of warm Liefrau milk when they get to the other side or whatever, and then they invite them back for some sausage rolls. It's sort of it's obviously sort of been created so people can do these things. We'd really like to be in Europe, therefore we ought to create something so we can all be in Europe, and the phrase in Europe.
Yeah. Well,
I remember when I was a kid, I was a very good runner, and running was always my thing. So I realised that I could beat everybody in my little cul-de-sac. So I created the Parkwood Close Marathon and made a little trophy for it, so I could take part in it and win. It sort of strikes me as something like that, really.
It's like a specific tournament for like unique clubs, fan-owned clubs, stuff like that. Even though
FC Manchester's in it, isn't it?
they played. Yeah, quite a funny story. The floodlights didn't work 2 nights ago, so they had to play at midday the next day.
What's it?
Yeah, I think they won 4-1. But yeah, like it was a great atmosphere. Like my lot, like we're known as the youth wing, which is what Barry named us a few years ago, because we just started, we kind of brought the noise to Lewes again because it was missing. And like it was a lot of people join in. It was, great noise. Keeper was, relates to what we were talking about earlier. Keeper was loving it, like absolutely loving it. He kept just like waving at the crowd and like getting it, like raising his arms up. He was clapping at us as well, like doing the slow clap. Brilliant. He gave his shirt out to a Lewes fan at half time. Oh, it was just a really good atmosphere in that regard. And when Oslo came off, we're all chanting them and they're all clapping us. So it was a really good
loving.
Just really good feeling, Everyone's loving each other, it was just very positive, and very much looking forward to going to Belgium. But it was a good game as well. Archie Tamplin, probably the biggest thing. He went unconscious. Really put a big damper on it because he looked like he was in big trouble. He got stretchered off, and everyone was kind of fearing, but he's absolutely okay. So that's great to hear because it looked pretty scary for a bit. So but yeah, good stuff. Good night.
Well,
but do you get to go to Denmark then?
It's Norway we're going to, I think.
Oh, Oslo, so Norway. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and that'll be probably in March. So they've got a deep, dark winter there, probably for the next month. So I don't think they actually play any football for the next few months. But yeah, and then the semis and the finals, I think, at the San Siro might be at the San Siro. I'm not sure.
Well, I saw the Pan Zero.
Yeah,
that was. Yeah.
They call that for a while.
Yeah. Has it? Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's not new.
Oh, okay.
So we've got Enfield Town in it as well, and Is that? Oh yeah, just FC United and Manchester out of all the English teams. There might be one more, but yeah.
So it's not like the Anglo-Italian Cup, the old Anglo-Italian Cup, where you used to end up supposedly playing in Europe again, and you'd end up against Southend and Luton.
Yeah, Enfield have ended up playing. They've got away to a Welsh team, which we're all quite happy to not get, because it would have been, Belgium or Norway or Wales. Still good though, even still, we still got Wales. I would have been buzzing about that,
How many games do you
I guess it makes a change from just playing Three Bridges again, sort of thing.
Yeah, just if we're not in it, I have a feeling we might not be in it next year because of the Mercury 13 stuff. Because I don't think we're 100% fan owned anymore.
What's happened with that now? Has that gone through then?
Yeah, that went through. We got a 68% majority in favour of the investment. So that, I think that's just for the fans to accept it, and now it's negotiations between the board and Mercury 13 to get over the line. The whole men's side still 100% fan owned. It's just the women's business, I guess. Yeah, it's separate.
Yeah, looking messy at Lewes, mate. Messy. Anyway, right. Talking of things that aren't messy, the wonderful Chris Agata has returned to Hastings, and we've won 3 on the bounce. So we're all happy Hastings fans here, aren't we?
Oh yes,
Andy.
Well, it's obviously, once there was a management gap, it's obviously a very, very good. No doubt, it's a very, very good appointment to fill it. No question there. I was quite interested when I realised that Chris had left his full-time job to take it on full-time. That was quite interesting, given that quite often people do these things as a part-time role. So that was quite interesting, the sort of level of commitment that both sides had agreed to him to do it. Obviously, it's quite hard to. The one thing, we've won the games that we've won on application, haven't we, at the moment?
Yeah.
So I think that's the thing. We're still working our way through that he's had the sort out of the initial sort out of the players. He's assessing the players he's got. He's brought back a few youngsters that have been out on loan, etc., which is very, very good, and given them a chance. Like Kean and Finley Chapman back in the squad, and obviously JJ
Jamal
and TT have had their outings, and also showing confidence in David by saying he's the centre forward. So
30 goals a season, Andy. 30 goals a season he's promised.
Well, he scored that belter at Margate the day after he said that to you, didn't he? So, he's so all that is good, actually. Just the sort of just needed the initial stability and a bit of common sense. I mean, not that there wasn't common sense, it's just that the spirit had gone. And so there's that. I mean, Saturday again, the game was won really because slightly because hashtag couldn't shoot, but also because we applied ourselves and got the goals, which we might not have done a month ago. So it'd be interesting to see how it develops from here, really, given that the spirit is there, the application is there, the squad's taking shape, and they've won the games. So the next step is, establishing the pattern of play and just making those small tweaks and additions to the squad, etc. Yes, interesting times, and obviously Chris is a good bloke. It was nice to meet him properly last weekend, and quite optimistic, has to be said. So looking forward to working with it, really.
Well, don't finish it, Andy, because I want to talk to you. Andy also does the PA box, puts an absolute plethora of excellent music on now. We don't suffer too many bad tunes with him. But you also now do the post-match, pre-match, post-match sort of stuff now. It seems there's sort of mahogany finish in the background, wherever that is. You do the interviews with Aggie.
Mahogany, yeah.
It's like a Norwegian sauna or something, isn't
it? In a kind of almost Dishy Des sort of very calm manner. I mean, what is that? Who you styled yourself on?
I don't really think too hard about that. Apart from this is all new, so the interviews are very new. So last weekend, before they set off to Pitsea, was the first proper interview we'd obviously done with Chris, and the longest one we'd done. Really, my thinking I've talked to Chris about this already, is that obviously the podcast is fan led. If you get people onto the podcast for an interview, they do it longer format. They do more general stuff. You get the fans able to ask their questions if they want, and that sort of thing. And that's where the podcast sits and certainly should sit. But what everyone moans about is the club doesn't do this, the club doesn't do that. So what we've tried to do, to be fair to Neo did his little videos and he initiated a few player interviews, didn't he? You may have seen those on YouTube. So because he triggered that, I think the committee wanted to expand on it. And so what I'm trying to work to now with Adam, I mean, I don't do any of the publishing. I'm trying to sort of do the interviewing, is just do the corporate side of the information, if you like. So Chris has got the more fan-led stuff, but what we need and what we haven't got, if you look at so many clubs, there's Dorking's a really good example of a very good media operation. I've sort of tortured myself by looking at how these other clubs are doing it. And all we're trying to do, really, I mean, when you say interview style, all I'm trying to do in that, really, is give Chris some questions, easy questions that he can just give his view to. So all I want is to give him the opportunity to put his thoughts out there. It's not Panorama. It's not Newsnight. It's not Graham Norton. It's just trying to give him the opportunity to put information out there. And post-match, which we started with BANTZ, is simply a quick 5 minutes to round up the game. And I spoke, when I did the interview with Chris last Saturday, I said to him, is it okay if we catch you after the Kingstonian game? He said yes. So hopefully we'll be doing that regularly, just to get 5 minutes out there after the game. And also maybe grab the man of the match, and particularly want to grab Adam for 5 minutes maybe and get his thoughts
As
after
in
the
Adam,
game.
the captain. Adam Lovett, yeah.
Adam Lovett, yeah. And so that's all we're trying to do, really, is create a little corporate feed where the players and the managers can get quick thoughts out there without being an imposition, you know. So they want to do it, and everyone can see the benefit of it. It's really, you know, simple as that.
I still think you got a little bit of Dishy Des about you, mate. You just, you know, so smooth, you know. You know, you know, this isn't anything to do with the club, so I'm allowed to say that. Okay, so you know, if you get upset, you can always leave.
No, I'm happy. All I want is that it's not really about me. It would be better if people don't. I'm like a referee, if you like. It's better if people don't notice me, and what they notice is what Chris or the player is saying. So we did one with David Rodari about a month ago, straight after the game with David. It was one of the first ones we did. And that was excellent because David speaks very well. And so his quick interview with the ball under his arm came across really well. So it's different to the podcast in that the club interviews should just be about the person you're interviewing. And, you know, I do think about what I'm going to say. So I've got a few things written down there, but I try to memorize them so I can just string. I've already thought through the pattern of the interview, if you like. So I know what I'm going to ask him. So unless someone says something really weird, I know how the interview is going to go.
Don't give away the magic, we've only done a couple. You're giving away the magic now, mate. You're giving away the magic.
You see, you know, I say it's easy. It feels easy once you've done a couple.
Dishy, mate. Dishy, Andy.
Yeah.
Right.
So if one thing I would say is, if anyone sees these things, I'm really not averse to someone giving me feedback or giving us feedback, etc. You know, because it's early days, isn't it?
Yeah. And I'm sure you need more people on your media team. Who is your media team at the moment, Andy?
Well, Adam is the media manager, so he's the publisher, isn't he?
So who's that? Adam Smith.
Adam Smith.
Yeah.
But he publishes. He does. So when you see your tweets on match days, that's nearly always Adam doing those. Any of the corporate guff you get from the club, that will be Adam doing that. Anything.
It's saying Adam's full of guff? Are you saying Adam's full of guff?
I was just saying, people supply him with the guff. He publishes it.
Quite happy.
And that's all of us. So there's me. So I'm doing that.
We get bugger all from the club, really. All that Facebook now is basically Twitter.
Well, I think he did put the interview that I did with Chris, for example, he put that on the club Facebook site.
Yeah.
So we also put it on Instagram. I say we. It also went onto Instagram. What I want to do
is for young people. I
want to get Neo more involved and get him to to do it up for us for YouTube and put some titles on it, put a bit of logoage and all that sort of thing, because Neo does all that sort of stuff, and I don't think we're making good enough use of his skills, because I'm old, and Neo, people like Neo are the future. We need people like Neo to be the future of the media operation. He's young, he's enthusiastic. He knows the drill for putting these things out there on YouTube and Instagram, and so need to make more use of people like that. But it's just I'm the one, with Adam's help. I'm the one who's going to have to drive it, but I don't mind that. Because I enjoyed the PA box. I've enjoyed making that a bit more of a thing. So I'm happy doing it, really. It feels like if you see me flapping around on the edge of Teo's celebration on Saturday, I recommend watch the video again on Facebook and see me hopelessly try to get involved in the celebration.
Yeah,
you'll realise why I'm better on the other side.
You need to be more assertive,
on the other side of the glass. I'm not a natural football fan. I'm better on the other side of the glass. Absolutely hopeless, failed high five. And, you'll see where I'm best suited. If you watch that video back, it's quite funny. Middle-class guy tries to get involved in goal celebration and fails.
Well, anyway, Kev, thoughts on Hastings?
Well, like you say, we've had a good start to the season. I'm very pleased that Aggie's back because, without over-analysing it, I think it's clearly very, very popular with the fans. And I think that's what the fans wanted to see. And I think that with everything else that's gone on with the club behind the scenes, we wanted to try and get away from that. I've felt very strongly, particularly, as someone who's kind of on Facebook all the time, looking at what's said and all the controversy that's gone on recently. I think we do need to look at what's going on the pitch, and I think Aggie's delivering, and he's very popular. It's also very early in the season. We have had a purple patch. Things are getting better. It is early in the season, and I see no reason why we can't make the playoffs, frankly.
Right. Very good positive talk. Leon?
Yeah, can't really comment too much on the games. I can only go by what I saw on YouTube and what's been shared on social media. But it's nice to see us stop letting in silly goals that we were letting in when BANTZ was still with us. Looking, going forward, we looked good. Obviously, we got a bit lucky on Saturday against Hashtag. They're probably kicking themselves that they lost that game, but that's football, isn't it? You need the rub of the green at times, but it's just good to have a team full of lads that want to play for Hastings, that are willing to work hard, and even if you're not the best team out there, as a fan, that's all you want to see in it is 11 guys just giving their all. But yeah, no, pleased Aggie's back. He's obviously I think he's a very good coach. He's obviously a good person. I was pleased to see him back. Obviously, it was a bit of sort of I felt a bit sort of unfair criticism. A few comments floating about when he was reappointed about his playing style, but I think a few of us saw that screenshot I took put up of that league table, and we should have been promoted for COVID, weren't we? We were the third top scorers in the league, best defensive record. So it's not bad for a coach who apparently just tells his team to play sideways. But no, we're obviously going to go through difficult patches, but it's I've got all faith in Aggie that he'll rebuild a good strong side.
Well, just to touch on that, I think that really helped Aggie to not have that selection dilemma of Dom Vos, Bailey Ackhurst, or the mighty TCL at the club before he came in. So I think if he'd have, just saying. Sorry, Ian, would you like to say anything about Hastings?
Well, it's funny the playing style thing because I haven't been to any of the last three games, so they've all been away. So you kind of watch the highlights on YouTube. And as far as I can see, what's happened is that Aggie's gone away and he's joined the school of Tony Pulis, and it's all about launching it into the mixer and seeing what happens. That's as far as I can tell, that's what's gone on. So it'll be interesting to see on Saturday whether we're launching it to the big fella up front, or whether we're reverting back to what we'd expect. But no, it's all been really positive. I think the lineups are really positive. You know, it's great seeing young players back in the squad again. I think, you know, the things that Chris has said about putting David up front and saying you know, you're the man, you're the centre forward. All of that's great. I'm sort of hoping we can get Adam Lovett back to his best by giving him the responsibility as well. It all seems very positive. Obviously, you know, it's early days and there'll be some bumps, but it all feels really good. And I'm looking forward to the next couple of home games to see what we can do in those.
I mean, one of the things, well, it's always been mentioned, is the application. You know, that has been just vastly improved. And
well, he was very clear about that when he took over the first time, that, you know, the team was going to work hard, and it just makes a massive difference, doesn't it? You can see it when it happens.
As I said, I think it was very handy that a few players left. I mean, I don't think they would have made the team, but like, I think that was one of our problems, was that, anyway, let's not go there. Simon.
You see that Tyler Christian Law has signed for Hornchurch.
Good luck to him, mate. You watch Hornchurch now, mate.
He's gone to Hornchurch. Yeah, I mean, I can only go on what I was reading and seeing on Facebook and whatnot about the players that came in the summer. And I could see that he wasn't particularly highly thought of by a lot of people. But going back to Chris, I remember when his first spell, he did interviews on Twitter, and they were really good. And these would go on for 10, 15 minutes sometimes. And I remember his first one was after we'd had a bizarre game at Molesey, where we lost 4-3, and one of those weird afternoons. And I thought, this guy's all right. Once he got his feet under the desk, he was doing all right. And I'm very pleased to see him back. I suspect everybody would have been absolutely chuffed to bits if Gary had come back, but more than happy to have Chris back. On the subject of Adam Lovett, there was a short interview with him on YouTube a day or two ago with a hashtag guy, because I think he had some connections with hashtag earlier in his career, and he clearly knew the guy who was interviewing him. Went on for 4 or 5 minutes, and it was a good little clip. So they're
a really interesting. He played at their academy, I believe, Simon.
Yeah, that's right. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, they're a great example. They're a media outlet looking for a football team.
Well, of course they are. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's YouTube United, isn't it, or whatever?
Exactly. So we're the other end of the scale at the moment. But yeah, they had cameras all around the ground and all kinds of stuff. So I'm not still find the concept of the club in the context of that media setup quite an interesting business. I do wonder where it's going to go.
What do we actually? All the other, obviously we got a lot of other clubs fans here. What do we think of the whole idea of hashtag? You know, I think I don't like it. That it's not a proper club in my eyes. What do you guys think?
I think they're just playing on. Obviously, you got SC Dons are probably one of the best known YouTube teams. You got is it Batesy? God, I don't know these. But yeah, no. Obviously, seeing how popular they are, you know, I'm probably thought, we'll have a bit of that. But it works well as a Sunday league team. You know, getting your average Sunday league game. I think SC Dons probably get maybe 100 there watching. But when you start getting into semi-pro football, it's how I don't know. Obviously, it's funded a lot by the YouTube revenue. I'm not too knowledgeable on how YouTube works.
How does it work with I mean, with SC Dons, have they got their own ground? Because hashtag ground share, don't they?
Yeah, I think they were. I think SC Dons were looking at because I think Cray Wanderers, they're supposed to be building a new ground, aren't they? Because they're still sharing with Bromley. I think Cray Wanderers are having a new ground, and I'm sure I read somewhere that SC Dons are going to play there because they're all based in that part of London. They've probably all played for.
But when you'd think that, like, I mean, when we had to ground share, when the idiot that went to Dover took our ground down, it was awful having to do ground sharing. It just didn't feel right. So how do they? I don't know. It's just I don't get the concept of this is our club. This is our home, sort of thing.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one, Terry.
I don't know.
Yeah,
It's just an odd concept to me.
I'm not too. I'm only like a part of, like, I'll occasionally watch like these YouTube teams. The one YouTube team I liked were Palmers, and I think they gave up a couple of years ago. But SC Dons, yeah, I'm not that
I only know
knowledgeable,
SC Dons
really.
because Montel Badgerman used to play played with them for a bit, and they came down to
Yeah,
a charity match for when he broke his leg. It's like so I knew of them through Montel, but yeah, it's just the concept's just a bit odd.
Well,
I think it feels better to me than the alternative, like the Wrexham scenario, where you just sort of take an existing club and turn it into a bit of a circus.
Yeah.
At least it's your own circus that you've invented, or you know, the kind of Crawley situation where you get some Bitcoin entrepreneurs taking it over and just dragging it down, kind of thing. So at least it's something that you've created.
well, it's about.
And it's an interesting thing, isn't it? Because clubs, where a club's going to be created now, because obviously it was a sports club would have come out of a pub or a coal mine or some sort of factory or some sort of society. So what are the modern organisations that are going to? We don't have so many factories. We don't have any coal mines. We don't have all those working men's clubs so much that are going to create sports teams. So you do wonder what is going to create sports teams in the future, and is it going to be stuff like this?
So basically, what you're saying, Andy, is that YouTube is the coal mine of now. Is that what you're saying? So we are the working men of now. Is that what we're?
Well, if you think about things like YouTube and Twitter or X or Meta, the factories. I'm going to go weird here, but the modern day factories are all the people who are sat at home or in a booth somewhere moderating that or coding it or whatever they're doing. So that's the modern factory.
You said we aren't highbrow, mate.
Yeah. The call center is the modern factory. The moderation unit is the modern factory. The coder
this podcast is the coal face of football.
Yeah.
Or something.
And so like it's industries and clubs and societies that create sports teams, isn't it? So it's interesting as to what's going to create those sports teams. That's the point, isn't it? In the future.
So it was like the social side of the factories became the football teams.
Exactly.
And now it's the football teams are coming from the social side of social media.
Of e-commerce or whatever. Yeah. You'll get Amazon. How long before Amazon owns a football team in the way that the UAE does or Qatar does, for example?
Well, they'll just buy their own league, won't they? They'll something like Amazon because they've got the resources. But what I find interesting is the background of some of these clubs, and we used to play one in ISTHMIAN South East, VCD Athletic. Yeah, a little bit of research into that, and it's Vickers Cray, Dartford. And Vickers, of course,
Vickers factory,
very well-known British engineering outfit. And up in the Northern League, you ever look around some of those divisions up there, and there's still an awful lot of coal mine teams there, like
Cray Valley Paper Mills.
Yeah, Cray Valley Paper Mills. There's another one. Yeah, and look at the one the outfit we used to play, Stamco. That was a works team, wasn't it? Sussex Turning and Moulding Company, Stamco, and then they had a little flirt with the Southern League Premier, didn't they? And we all know what happened to them. But yeah, these works teams, it's interesting. But hashtag right now, as far as where they play is concerned, well, they've only been around 5 minutes, so they probably won't even notice it. It's just another place to play their home games.
Yeah.
And it was interesting for those of us that had been there for the Bowers and Pitsea game, how suddenly things have been branded up. There are a few stickers have been put on, sort of hashtag type stickers have been put over the top of things that would have been Bowers and Pitsea things. So they've obviously got it all they've got a little kit they must wheel out just to rebrand the stadium as best they can
for
those games.
That's it.
Yeah.
I think
they peel it off and they go home.
I think we have to be
see where they go.
I think we have to be a little bit careful about identity, loyalty. I mean, I was going to say about Cray Valley Paper Mills as well, actually. But I mean, here were we, Hastings United, a seaside town with a very big history as a sink port, and our logo's a bloody lion.
Well,
don't go there, Kev.
Oh, I want to, Andy.
Yeah, that's for some sort of fan entity to reappear and make a push for that one, I think, Kev.
Slowly catchy monkey on that one.
In all seriousness, I mean, a lot of clubs, as you say, go Arsenal. A lot of those clubs actually came from works as well.
Yeah, the Royal Arsenal. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Where will the clubs, and those clubs are the successful ones, and as Simon said, even down in the lower leagues, there are clubs everywhere that have come from those sort of entities. So yeah, new clubs have got to come from somewhere to make it sustainable.
Rob, you've been very quiet in that corner, mate. You want to mention anything about this bloody hashtag or not?
No, I was just listening, mate. Well, yeah. Like I say, I think there's a place for him in. There's obviously a place for him in football. They've done well to get promoted, and they've had a lot of relative success, haven't they? They come out of nowhere. So, but it's for the kids really. Like my son, he knows who #United are. He knows what their kit looks like. He might not know, he might not know who Droylsden are or whatever, but he knows who #United are, and they're, it won't be long, and for example, they'll be in a computer game or something like that. Like Wrexham were in a non-league, but they were with like Barcelona's and things like that, because this is like the way of the world. It's like they're big on social media. They're a social media internet invention, and that's the way the world is now.
We're dinosaurs, aren't we, Rob? We're dinosaurs, mate.
It's like that's technology, and technology's getting into everything now. Like literally everything. I was just a totally separate issue, but with the VAR and all that, to me, it's just I absolutely despise it, and. But kids, they think technology goes hand in hand with normal life. And again, I'm talking down the phone to you in my garage, so on a video. So you can't escape it, can you? And they're not going to go anywhere. I think all what will happen is they'll get promoted. They're probably at a bit of a ceiling, but but they'll have to get their own ground eventually to generate revenue, and I think apparently they make a lot of money selling kits like all around the world. So they've probably got a much bigger budget than any of us. Even potentially.
Even Dave Smith's money.
Even Dave Smith's money. Yeah. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Well, they can definitely afford Dave Smith, I imagine. It's just I don't know if they went on a big spending spree # in the summer. Whether they, I don't notice them doing like a Hornchurch and nicking everyone's good players. Like Hornchurch had loads of ours, So maybe that's to come from them.
Thanks for coming on, guys and girls. Sorry, apologies, Terry.
I'm an honorary bloke. I'm fine with that.
That's it, because you're cancelled.
Your pronouns for this podcast, what will they be for next time? Honorary bloke.
It and that.
That's a bit harsh, Kev.
Wasn't worth.
There's some Margate violence happening towards you, I reckon.
Bring it on. Bring it on, Terry. Bring it on.
Oh, what have I done? Right. Thanks very much to Andy, Simon, Terry, Stan. Listen to his podcast, Lewes Clammer.
Thank you.
Kev Towner, Ian Grant, Leon, and the lovely Rob in Folkestone. Thank you, and see you at the game. See you guys.
See you at the game.
Cheers all.
Thank you, Chris.
That we stand on for, but I say goodbye.